is up, everybody? You know who it is. It is your allies behind enemy lines. Ryan and Joy coming at you thoroughly behind enemy lines. Right now, we are live on Twitch on Joey's Twitch page, Mad Dad 316. Correct?
Yes, you got it. You got it.
Mad Dad 316. So make sure you subscribe to that. Make sure you subscribe to us anywhere you can find your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We are on SoundCloud. You also can find us, of course, on YouTube. Subscribe there. Make sure you ring that notification bell so as soon as we drop this latest and greatest heat, it is notified. You are notified. It comes right to your phone, right to your computer, right to your laptop, wherever you listen to us on YouTube or otherwise, you are notified immediately. Go check us out on Twitter at AlliesBEL. Click our Twitter. Go to our Twitter bio. In that bio, there's a link. Click that link, and when you click that link, some more heat comes to you. Our official Allies Behind Enemy Lines merch. Hashtag we all need allies and Allies Behind Enemy Lines, a Washington football podcast. You see it right here. A great, comfortable shirt. I said it last time, shows off the pipes pretty good, hugs the pipe pretty good. So yeah, there you go. Bang. Gives you those 22s, baby. So go ahead, check it out, buy some merch. Buy yourself one, buy your grandma one, buy your uncle one, buy your friend one, somebody, because hashtag we all need allies. We are back after another week. Joey, how you doing, bud? How's everything going down there in Austin? Holding it down.
Everything's going good. Everything's going good. The school year is winding down, which always means work is winding down for me. So we are in the I guess the Super Bowl season of getting out of work. I don't know. It's very exciting times here in this last couple of days of school. So I'm doing well. Looking forward to the summer, but also looking forward to getting seeing some more of these training camps and trying to see as this puzzle comes together for our Washington football team and see if we can get cracking.
Absolutely, yeah. We had rookie minicamp. I believe we're in the middle of rookie minicamp right now. Getting all our draftees in there, getting them to work. Jamin Davis lighting it up. Benjamin St. Juice, everybody, the whole crew, they're in there getting ready. Even the long snapper, our buddy Cheeseman. I know it's Cheeseman, but I'm just gonna call him Cheeseman the entire time. So let's get used to that.
Remember, we can't cut the cheese man. We can't cut the cheese man. He's got to be, a sharp center. And yes, all the puns are coming out of the woodwork for him. But hey, when you spend a draft pick on a long snapper, he's gonna get some attention, whether it be positive or negative. So hey, we got our eyes on you either way, buddy.
Yeah, 100%. So some roster moves this week. Ryan Kerrigan, he says his goodbye to Washington. He posts a formal goodbye, thanks for the last 10 years, yada yada, and then goes turns around and goes straight to Philadelphia like a bitch. There's no other way to put it. It's just like, of all people you could have gone to, it's like when you're dating a girl, or if you're dating a guy, and there's always that one friend that you're kind of suspicious about, like, well, you guys kind of spend a lot of time together, like, that's like, what's going on here? And
that
then
one night you're up late talking, we see you talking a little bit after those games.
Exactly. And there I was like, oh, don't worry about it, they're just friend. And then as soon as you break up, bang, they're together. And so it's like, Ryan, like, of all places you could have gone, there was 3 places you couldn't go: Philadelphia, the Giants, Dallas, and you chose to go to Philadelphia. It's heartbreaking. He said, of course, the Bengals. So the whole time, the Bengals have been the leader in the clubhouse of who's going to sign him. And he said it came down to the Bengals, Steelers, and Philly. He goes to Philly. So we will face him twice a year now. So hopefully, now that this offensive line may be shaping up a little bit, we see Sam Cosmi maybe pancake him a couple times. We know he's going to overrun the rush. He's going to overcommit to the pass rush of at least 4, 5, 6 times. And Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to be able to step up in the pocket, or Taylor Heineke, whoever it may be, step up in the pocket and elude his pass rush. But it's like, buddy, how you going to do that to us? After all this time, like, it's just, it sucks. It sucks to see him go to Philadelphia in the gangrene and turn his back on us the way he did.
I like how you started out with like a bitch. I would want to say more like a Mitch, like a Brian Mitchell did to us back in the day. Like what I did right there. Like he pulled like a Mitch. And as we look back, and I kind of remember that time, it's like, Brian Mitchell was one of at that time, again, one of those players that really was a staple for a while, did so many great things for us, all the exciting returns, and played quarterback at that time we needed him to in the body bag game. But Ryan Kerrigan had a lot of great memories here. I think for a while he was just more than that, just a constant. He had some great years there. His playing time went down a lot. He did make the best of his time here last year. I think it all boiled down to what I've heard is playing time. And I think talking to he ain't gonna get a lot of playing time over there with Pittsburgh. With T.J. Watt there and whatnot. So I guess the Bengals probably had a similar situation going on, or probably didn't present with him. But then the idea, obviously, playing against people that he knows, I think plays more into our favor than his, because I think that's kind of a guy that a lot of, I guess it's not even the same team though. If you really think about it, it's not even guys that really he's practiced against or have practiced against him that's going to be going against him. Nor has he ever really practiced against. So it's not really that big of a thing. But we do know that is with that contract they gave him, I don't know if he's going to be seeing a lot of playing time. What I did hear is that Philadelphia likes to rotate out a lot, and he's just going to be part of that rotation, a rotation of pass rushers. So, I mean, it's one of those things that's like, really, dude. It's kind of like, I'm more like, really. It's more mad, and it's kind of like, really. It's kind of like, it's almost like Emmitt Smith signing with the Cardinals. I don't think you're really going to do anything out there that's going to be as of note. I mean, who knows? I say this now, he's going to come back and have 25 sacks this year and break the all-time sack record, and strip Ryan Fitzpatrick and take the division from us. But who knows? I mean, I think that his better years are behind him. I think that the money that he's garnering is just going to be that, to see what happens. I wouldn't expect him to go out there and compete and be Ryan Kerrigan. But again, without a team that has other pieces around him, he's not going to carry a defense. So I mean, they're not going to get that out of him.
Yeah, the talk on Twitter was Philadelphia fans, Eagle fans, saying that he was going to be this year's version of Chris Long, which credit to Chris Long, had a good career, finished up with 2 Super Bowls. But Ryan Kerrigan, I think, is far superior to Chris Long. He's had a much more consistent and dominant career. But you get 2 white guys that play the same position, you're going to get compared every single time. But like I said, it does suck because you even look back to like Brian Orakpo when he left. Like, he went to Tennessee. It was like, okay, I can still root for Brian Orakpo. I still hope he does well. Sure, it didn't work out here. And Brian Orakpo was a guy that I thought was going to be able to retire in the burgundy and gold and just be one of those. We hung up the 98 in the rafters. Didn't work out that way. And then Kerrigan, he kind of filled that gap where it was him and it was those two. It was Ryan Kerrigan and Brian Orakpo for a couple of years there. And then he was just the constant, like I said, the consistent guy on the defense, the face of the defense when, really the face of the team when things weren't going really well. Probably one of our better players, one of the guys that you could kind of like always pinpoint, be like, okay, maybe things aren't going well. He will provide at least a little bit of electricity and some stuff. And even last year, we mentioned a couple plays that he made that maybe don't show up on the stat sheet or don't show up, on the highlight reel. But when you look at it, it's like, wow, that play that he made really made a difference, or that read that he made really made a difference. So it sucks that he wasn't willing to take a lesser role here. Cause you think about it. The only other edge rushers in the NFL that might compare to Chase Young and Montez Sweat are probably the guys in Cleveland, Jadeveon Clowney and Myles Garrett. Those are maybe the only other 2 that compare. So it's like, buddy, when you're looking at you're staring down the barrel of a number 2 defense right on the border of a number 1 defense, especially after this draft, and you don't want to stick around because your playing time is going to be limited. After all this time, you stuck with us when we were just like absolute dog shit. And now you're going to leave when you're finally seeing this through and things are getting better. But it's like, hey, I'm not going to be a major part of it. Hey, why not just be a part of it? So it sucks that he didn't want to do that. Who am I to say what a guy should do with his career? Obviously, this is just my fan side coming along, not my.
Or if he even got an offer, I don't even know. But who knows if they even? It's funny how the timing of this, because right around the time rookie minicamp, you're starting to get looks at Shaka Tony, and you're starting to get looks at all these other guys that you brought in. In the 7th round, what was the guy's name that we brought in out of
Bradley King?
Yes, out of Baylor. And they'd say, get these guys, and they're like, hey, we don't need we have these 2 hungry young guys here that we can get for 2 of these guys for 1 Ryan Kerrigan salary, you know what I mean? And basically, and they got to look at that, and they're like, you know what, I told them such as we haven't heard, and nothing's come out. It's all speculation, but said something as to the effects of, go get the best you can, go get your deal out there. We don't have anything really for you here. And if you're getting a better offers out there of playing time and or stuff, these opportunities, then go take those opportunities. Something of that. Because we haven't really heard that, or we haven't heard that he turned down anything from us. So I'm assuming we didn't offer him anything if we didn't hear that he turned down something from us to go to them. So it's very easily that he's not here because we didn't want him here.
Yeah, but I mean that's true. But it would just be it's hard for me to see a guy of veteran presence like that, a guy that's been around, and Ron kind of seems like a guy to me that respects that somebody, a grinder, respects somebody, that's loyal, respects somebody, and is willing to give somebody a chance that's, has put in the time and put in the work. And Ryan Kerrigan's done all of those things. And like I said, even when we were just bottom of the barrel dog shit team, he was still going out there and, coming off the edge like it was, Super Bowl, over pursuing the quarterback like it was a Super Bowl. And and then of course every time he gets a sack, he hits him with the HBK, the double bicep flex, and and it was electric. Everybody loved it. And now that to see if that first time he gets a sack and he hits the HBK in that green, that's gonna take a little bit out of it. It's gonna suck.
It's gonna hurt.
Yeah,
it's gonna hurt.
It absolutely is. So it's gonna be tough to see. Like I said, I wish I could wish him the best, but I can't. I honestly, I just as much as I would like to, they always say it's a thought that counts. Like, I want to wish you the best, Ryan Kerrigan, but I'm not going to because I just simply can't. But hopefully he stays healthy, and hopefully maybe he finds what he was looking for over in Philadelphia. But he's going to be missed. He was one of the greats as far as just, again, a guy that just got it done week after week after week. And I'm going to miss him. I liked Ryan Kerrigan. I was a big Ryan Kerrigan fan coming out of Purdue. I think he was kind of a sleeper when we drafted him, and he burst on the scene as one of the elite pass rushers. And after what was been 10 years, he's going to one of the enemies. So that's tough. He once was an ally. He is now an enemy behind enemy lines.
Fly, Eagles, fly is what he said on the tweet. Oof. That was the rough part. Anyway, good riddance, Ryan Kerrigan. We're gonna pancake you.
Absolutely, we are gonna pancake you, and we're gonna make sure Ryan Fitzpatrick steps up in the pocket, and you have no idea what you're doing.
Exactly. I was gonna say, Cosby, don't have to hit him hard. Just whip him around. He'll take the wide angle. Just keep whipping him out there. It's like the Fast and the Furious. He'll drift. He's got Kerrigan, the Kerrigan drift, the drift rush. He's got that drift mood down pat.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. But some more personnel moves. Morgan Moses, who we talked about on last week's show, because we thought maybe he was going to take over that starting right tackle spot. Well, it came out, what was it, Monday or Tuesday, that Washington said, hey, you know what? Go find a trade, buddy. You can go ahead and go find a trade. And he couldn't find a trade, and so they just ended up outright releasing him. Somebody that started every game since 2015 at either left tackle or right tackle for Washington. 2015, we're sitting in 2021. Last season, 2025 straight years started every game. We talk about a guy like Charles Leno, who's done that for the Bears, who we just recently brought in. Starting every game for a handful of years. And this was a surprise move. I got to say, this was a surprise move. I was shocked. I thought he was going to be a guy that added depth to this roster, to this offensive line. Like I said, we thought he was going to be maybe the starting right tackle. Maybe he was going to be the number 2 tackle behind both Leno and Cosme, and just kind of flip back and forth as needed. But again, not the case. Just straight up release. It's going to save Washington around $7.7 million in cap space. But a bit of a shocker. And I don't know what the move or the thought process is here. We also released Cornelius Lucas, who we mentioned, who is another offensive lineman. So it's way too early to see what we've got, as far as what we got in training camp or what we got in rookie camp. Bring in Samuel Cosme, Charles Leno. Sure, those are going to be the starters. We still got Sadiq Charles and who else am I forgetting?
We don't have Timon Paris anymore. He went to I think I saw him signed with the Dolphins as well. So
yeah,
we signed Eric Flowers, but he can play tackle. He can play tackle, but I think our guards are going to be live. I think that Schweitzer earned that left guard spot, and it's going to be his.
100%.
Lose. And Chase Roullier, we re-signed him. Sure, obvious. I think that obviously the left tackle is going to be Leno, and I think that you have the obvious we drafted then Cosme as the right tackle. So I think Eric Flowers, is someone who can play tackle or guard, is a great swing man that can go in there and kind of fill in those gaps. We also mentioned Sadiq Charles, who can also do the same thing. So I mean, they basically have depth guys there. I liken it to what I mentioned as well about the Kerrigan thing. Is like I think it's when they saw what they had in rookie camp again. They're like, you know what, we have these guys right here, who we know what we're getting out of them. You're talking about Moses, who obviously is going to be you don't want an $8 million backup at tackle, and then you have Cornelius Lucas, who started 6 games for you, so you already know what you're getting out of him as well. So you're getting these guys in rookie camp who are other than Cosme, obviously are going to be depth positions. They're not you're not looking for starters anymore. So if you're pretty solid on who you have as your starters, which is with the names we just listed off, I think are pretty solid. If that's what it's going to be, then you're merely talking about depth, and they got to feel comfortable about the depth they have at those positions.
So I'm looking here. They have Sadiq Charles listed, obviously David Sharp, David Steinmetz. Not familiar with his work or who he is. He's got 3 years experience out of Purdue. He's 28 years old. They still have Cornelius Lucas listed on the team site, so maybe that's not official yet. And they have Samuel Cosme, obviously Eric Flowers, like you said, Charles Leno, and Rick Leonard. Again, another fellow who I'm not super familiar with. Looks like he's a young guy. 1 year out of Florida State, 6'7", 311. That boy thick. But so we do have, like you said, some depth guys there. Again, I don't know if they're still planning to add some pieces or what, but it is what it is. And Morgan Moses is now gone. We'll be interested to see where he signs. But he was a guy that I thought was going to be, right in the thick of things as far as the rotation goes, flipping back and forth between tackles, if not the starting right tackle once we brought in Charles Leno. But again, that has gone by the wayside. And it's really interesting what Ron Rivera is doing with this roster. He's definitely bringing in like his guys, and if you're not one of his guys that he wants, that he likes, then you're out. It's simple as that. He's not messing around. He's not pulling any punches. And it's I can respect it. Like I said, we'll see. Again, you go back to listen to earlier podcasts. I was very, very hesitant with the Ron Rivera signing because his first move was just bringing back all his guys from Carolina. And I jumped back on the bandwagon. I was like, okay, I've blown the horn for Ron. Even when we didn't take Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, I was like, all right, look, he played linebacker. Jack Del Rio played linebacker. If they didn't like the linebacker, I respect it. So like I've done a complete 180 on him. And so again, I'm going to trust the process and trust that he knows what's going on here. And see how this offensive line rolls. Because like you said, or like we've said many, many times, we started off shaky, but finished up the season very, very well.
And it's almost one of those things like if it wasn't broke, don't fix it. But I mean, it's got to be confident that the pieces that were. I mean, if we think back to that, what was it? Who wasn't it? Moses that gave up the sack of the game.
Yeah, as he was injured, right, and he was trying to come back and trying to yeah.
So I mean, if you look at those spots, I mean, you got some. If Cosby's playing in that play, do we win the game? Do we have another shot? You never. I'm just saying those are the hypotheticals. So the basically saying if the pieces that weren't doing well are getting stronger, then that just is going to strengthen that line. So it could be a good thing. We're both in Ron we trust. So we got to say, you know what? And the strange part is, I mean, it's like this is like almost a completely different team. I mean, you think about. From a few years ago, all the like you say, the staples, Ryan Kerrigan gone, like all these people gone, just off the team, and it's just different, a whole different set of names. You got obviously you're still gonna have some there that a little bit of a carryover from Brennan Scherf, Chase Rouillet, Cole Holcomb, Landon Collins, obviously, but other than that, this is just a whole new crop of guys. So new name, new faces, and let's start a new legacy.
100%, 1000%. And another guy that is a new face that signed last week after we'd already posted this show, free safety Bobby McCain. He comes over from Philadelphia, a guy that did some good things with, or excuse me, comes over from Miami, a
Hmm.
guy that did some big things with them. And so now we're looking at that safety spot, which maybe would have been, one of the, I wouldn't even say a weakness, because the way this is what, okay, first off, before we get into the whole Bobby McCain thing, like, I think great signing. I'm happy for it. It's going to give us some depth. But the fact that everybody was like, oh man, we need safety help. We need safety help. We need safety help. Like, I didn't see that. Like, Cam Curl and Jeremy Reeves did a fantastic job playing safety last year. Both of them. Sure, we didn't have your stereotypical free safety. We had guys, there were probably two strong safeties playing, one strong, one free, combo safety of the two. But the way the NFL is going, it's much kind of, in my opinion, now, if you disagree, let me know. It's kind of going the way of the NBA, where you don't really have like a point guard and a shooting guard anymore, right? You just have combo guards out there. And that's the kind of the way I saw the safety spot for us last year, was we just had combo safeties. We were like, we didn't have a free safety or a strong safety. We just had safeties. We had two safeties playing, right? And so that's my first thing. Like, I'm all in on Jeremy Reeves. Like, the fact that he's kind of getting looked over for that starting spot, I don't understand quite as much, but especially with, people just want to hand Lightning Collins the job back over at strong safety. I think he still has to prove himself, but Bobby McCain comes in and as a free safety, a true free safety, and kind of solidifies what is already a fantastic defense, a defense that was number 2 overall last year. That's only gotten better by signing a number 1 corner, drafting corners, and shoring up that middle with a top draft pick in Jamin Davis. And so, things are really, really shaping up for this to be, I think, dare I say, a historic defense.
Historic defense. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like you can't. It's hard to find some holes in what we look at now, especially as you said, adding Bobby McCain, and that secondary is. I mean, now you got was it 3 ex-team captains out there as far as playing those safety roles, and as you said too, this got versatile guys, and as are all of our secondary. I mean, you could throw Kendall Fuller into that mix as well, someone that came in to play safety and then end up having to jump back up and play cornerback for us.
Yeah.
So he's someone as well. And as you said, all these guys can play multiple roles like that. And so when you have your one shutdown corner and a bunch of guys that can kind of can do all types of things like that, and a line that can just handle its own, and they're gonna have one of the most athletic linebackers coming out of the draft there. It's just a bunch of guys that are gonna be able to go out there and just chase the ball around. And that's all you really need nowadays, is guys that can make plays and that are free to be able to make plays and show their athletic skill, especially when we got guys. All we got is speed. All our team has done is gotten faster, especially on defense. So it's gonna be exciting to see how these pieces fall together. But as you said, though, I think that Landon Collins, it's gonna be interesting to see how he fits in here. And if we see, I don't see taking Cameron Curl off the field. And again, like you said, it's gonna be hard to take off Jeremy Reeves. So I easily see them playing with 3 safeties on the field. That's a big nickel package that you can call him a linebacker, you can call him a safety, you can call him whatever you want. But it's going to do what Landon Collins does, which is support the run and hit tight ends in the face before they go out there for their routes.
Yeah, no doubt. And obviously we draft Derek Forrest out of Cincinnati. Now it looks like he's probably going to be more of a special teams guy, just absolute speedster. We still have DeShazer Everett playing safety. So again, looking at the team website, they actually have Bobby McCain listed as a corner, which I find fascinating. They don't even have him listed as a DB. They do have Jeremy Reeves listed as a DB, and as well as Benjamin St-Juste, because they have different designations. They have corners, they have defensive backs, and they have your safeties. And according to JP Finley, our boy over at NBC Sports Washington, the Bobby McCain sign might mean the end of days for another fellow who isn't exactly a fan favorite on this show, but the one and only Troy Apke. It might mean his numbers are done. So this time when we see the back of his jersey, it's not because he's chasing down a wide receiver, but it's because he's walking out the door and going to find a new home. Again, you don't wish that on a guy to not have a job or to lose his job, but I don't want him playing here anymore. I have been wanting to play here for a while. We talk about the speed of Troy Apke. Well, guess what? That has been replaced tenfold, and I don't know that his services are needed anymore.
I don't know if his speed's been replaced. I mean, his speed is historic, especially in the Madden community. I mean, that card. I mean, he's one guy that never gets a high card, so he's a salary cap. You know, they have a salary cap mode in Madden, so his speed makes him a usable card alone on a very low salary cap. So that's gonna be very sad if he doesn't land somewhere where you can still utilize that speed in some salary cap teams. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, other than that, his coverage skills.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned that because we are live here on Twitch, which your Madden community. So hopefully, so you are correct in mentioning that. Shout out to all the other Maddeners out there. That if you're using, probably a tough look for your team, but if it's somebody that you can utilize, go for it.
His days are definitely numbered. And like you said, DeShazer Everett. It's a lot of. I mean, there's competition at every position. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's not, as we've seen, no job is safe. Anyone that I would have penciled. You gave me 2 weeks ago. I would have penciled in Morgan Moses. In dark pen. So in not erasable ink, that he's our starting right tackle. That's how confident I was. He's gone. And so why? That's got to be a question there too. Is why? Too. I mean, clearing up a lot of it's clearing up money. What are we clearing up? Some people speculate it's to sign Jonathan Allen to a long-term deal before training camp starts, and which I'm totally down with, obviously.
Absolutely.
I mean, but could it be for all our speculators out there and all our fantasy dreamers? Could it be clearing ways for Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, Julio Jones? Who knows?
See, I saw the Julio Jones trade news and I was like, oh, let's go get him. But then I was like, we have 75 wide receivers right now. Like, there might be too much of a good thing, and Julio Jones might be that too much of a good thing.
You give Ryan Fitzpatrick all those wide receivers, though. How can he go wrong? How can he go wrong?
No doubt.
He could put his helmet on backwards, like he made that throw last year with his helmet on backwards, and his face falling out of it. He could hit somebody that's going to catch the ball. But yeah. So it's definitely why behind these moves is interesting to see. But I'm glad we talked about wide receivers because the old guy, I was reading a story on that Dax Milne. Is that how you pronounce it? Dax Milne.
Yeah.
The wide receiver, Zach Wilson's #1 target out of BYU, and his story and how, the production. And that was actually the words I read that which made me think about it is Ron Rivera's. And what Ron said when he saw him is he was much bigger. Like I had a stockier, more physical looking wide receiver than he thought he was getting, when he drafted him. And so, which, he automatically thought, him as a slot receiver, because of his quickness and his speed. But he didn't also know he's going to get somebody who's thick like that. So that's promising to see that he's already. Who knows if he makes the team? He's a long way from that. But just some notes coming out of that mini camp as well. And as far as the signing of Leno as well, one of the things that was said was that he wants to. I don't know if you saw that, where he said one of the reasons he signed with Washington is because he wants to be, which is a testament to our team, is how competitive we were last year. He's like, he was sitting at home watching us in the playoffs, and competing, and he said that it's something that I want to, go be a part of, and not, and possibly help enhance and make better, and bring the better out of me. So that just goes to show you that, again, what we've talked about, us being a destination that these free agents might want to come now. So who knows? We might get us a Aaron Rodgers or a Deshaun Watson or a Julio landed on this team.
You never know. On this subject, I'm glad you brought up Dax Milne. On the subject of that, go ahead and head over to his Instagram. I believe it's just Dax Milne, and check out his sister, because let me tell you.
Why are you gonna put Dak's sister on blast like that?
I'm just saying, sheesh. It's I was just doing some advanced scouting report. That's all. Advanced scouting. That's all I was doing. And let me tell you, the scouts were happy with what they found. But that's about it. I'm not gonna put out her username or anything. I'll let you guys go ahead and do that. But if you have some free time, I'm just saying you won't be upset. But that was my that was the only scouting report I had after some in-depth research.
I'm sitting there talking about the thickness and the girthiness about Dax Milne, and you're sitting there talking about the thickness and girthiness about Dax's sister. What's going
I know
on
that's
over
right.
Here, man? Where's this? Well, I gotta do all the hard research over here, and you're sitting there living in having wet.
Oh, trust me, I was researching hard too, if you know what I mean. Don't get me wrong, I was too.
Obviously, Hassan feels you here as he's laughing because he thinks he probably knows already as well. He's seen it. He's laughing at this as well. So yes, obviously go check it out if you must. But Dax Milne, bring it to her game. We don't have cheerleaders anymore, so we have a dance team.
Yeah, exactly. Right on. Oh man, that's all I had on the rundown as far as what was going on this week around the football team. I don't know if you had anything else before we wrap up.
Also, just the release of who did opt out last year anyway. Josh Harvey Clemens, who we did not have.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, and we signed Joe Walker, and I did a little Sherlock Holmesy on Joe Walker and what his story was, and he was drafted I think he went or signed a contract in 2016, played in a few games, tore his ACL, was doing well. Actually for the Eagles, and was backing up Jordan Hicks, and then Jordan Hicks went down that Super Bowl year, and that was his rookie year, and he came in and was doing well and hurt his neck, and then he's been kind of just bouncing around off of practice squads till then, as he's obviously been healing over this last couple of years. So, someone who's played on some teams and has started some games in the NFL. Again, more depth in that linebacker core. And again, as we say, you can't deny Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio's assessment of linebackers. They're only going to bring in guys that they think they can come in here and hit somebody in the mouth and be a linebacker. I'm sure. I mean, I know. If I was a linebacker, I would probably look at it as some kind of brotherhood or club of esque, and you're not going to want to bring in anyone who's not going to fit the mold or what you think that brotherhood should entail. So I trust.
Absolutely. In the words of TLC, we don't want no scrubs.
Yes, and also don't go chasing waterfalls.
Go chasing waterfalls.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Oh man. So what about what's going on in the chat? Anybody got anything there? We just I know you said our boys.
Asan was talking and said Joe Walker is good for depth, that he's okay, decent in the run game. So again, I guess it's the theme that we're gonna have. Think about it now. We have Jeff Bostic. We have we named out a couple guys before. Cole Holcomb. Jamin Davis. We have these guys. We picked up, what is his name? Mayo from the Giants, right? We picked up Mayo from the Giants. Mm-hmm. So I mean, we have some depth, we have competition, we have fresh faces, and people that this defense has a reputation now. Coming in last year, all this defense had was potential, and all I really had was Chase Young and some hungry young, Jonathan Allen, Jerome Paynes, Matt Ioannidis have come off individual different time, had done well at different times, never really collectively, and then when that defense came together last year. It kind of just took out this. I mean, if anyone you listen to talk about Washington, that's the first thing they talk about is how impressive this defensive line, this pass rush is. And so to be a part of this elite defense now, which is going to start taking on a whole thing of its own, it's going to bring a different part of every player that gets on it an opportunity to play on the field, a different level of ferocity or hunger, or So I look for the only and as I'm glad I remember this as well. The Pro Football Focus came out, and we were the third-ranked defense, behind Tampa Bay and the Rams. Which I can see the Rams. I really don't see Tampa Bay as much, just because they're Super Bowl champions, I guess. And
bringing back all 11 starters on that defense is gonna.
That is true, exactly. But I'd love to see them again. I would love to be able to, we start. There's a lot of stuff popping up again. These people start reliving the playoff game, and they were holding us the whole time. If they wouldn't have been holding our defensive line, blah blah blah. Which we know what went on there a lot of times. But again, you don't leave it in the hand of the refs. We take our lumps. Yeah. We're not those type of fans. But
we're not Cowboy fans.
We're not Cowboy fans, and we're the excuse riddeners. Yes, I think that this defense is going to be something special, and anyone that's going to be on there that's going to be competing to be on this field and gets a chance to play here is going to be part of something special. So I'm looking forward to this monumental season.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yep. Cannot wait. Well, that'll do it for us here on your Allies Behind Enemy Lines. First time going live on Twitch. So, probably maybe we'll do a little bit more, kind of give you all a heads up. But you will be able to check us out tomorrow, Friday, again on YouTube as soon as this video drops. As you listen to it, it is today, because whenever you are listening to it, it is today. Whether you're listening to it tomorrow or the next day, it still is today. It's funny how that works.
Yeah, so if anything drops, so we are live, but we can't really talk about all the secrets because the people tomorrow are hearing this not live, and they're gonna be like, "Whoa, we know everything now." No, no. So what I'm basically saying is, if anything happens between now and around 10 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, we're gonna be outdated. You know.
And it happens all the time, so
and,
don't be
and
surprised
everything
if
we
it does.
say sounds insignificant. I think Bobby McCain last week, right? Bobby McCain came right
Yep.
after we dropped right after we dropped the episode. It's like, oh, pretty much the biggest thing that happened all week, and we didn't get it on the episode.
Yeah, but you can check us out on our outdated show on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and SoundCloud, all by searching Allies Behind Enemy Lines. Check us out on, of course, YouTube. Hit that subscription button, ring that notification bell. Check us out on Twitter at AlliesBEL. In that bio, again, you can go find your fresh Allies Behind Enemy Lines gear. Hashtag we all need allies. And spread the love there. You can also check us out on Facebook by searching Allies Behind Enemy Lines podcast, where we post all of our YouTube videos as soon as they drop. So you can go ahead and share it with your aunt, your uncle, your grandma, your grandpa, your great aunt, your great uncle, all the above.
All the high school buddies, from back in the day.
Yep, exactly. That you just kind of, you don't really keep in touch with, but you know what's going on because they're on Facebook and all their kids they're having.
And all the stuff about, hey, especially if they're at Washington, just drop it in there. Hey, maybe you'll reconnect. Go to a game.
Absolutely. There you go. You'll find a new ally, right? That's what we're all about. But until next week, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks to all the viewers here on Twitch. We appreciate you guys sticking around and watching this live show and hitting us up in the comments. But we will be back next week, same time, same place, coming at you with another episode of Allies Behind Enemy Lines. But until then, have a great weekend. Have a great week. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Y'all take care.